What's going on, guys? Sean here with Urban Preparedness, and I want to make this video today because I want to go over my backpack and show you guys the general things you want to put into a backpack. Now, you don't have to mimic what I have to the T. I would encourage you not to do that because this is what I have for myself and for my family, and you need to make it tailor-made to you and your family. So let's jump into it. So when you're looking for a backpack, what you want to do is get one that is between 25 to 40 liters. That is plenty for you to pack into what you and your family should need in case of a bug out situation, or even to use as a get home bag. Now, there is a difference between a get home bag and a bug out bag. A get home bag is something that you're going to want to use to get home. So whether that's from work or whether you're out on a commute and you just got to make it back to your home, that is what a get home bag is. Now, a bug out bag is something that you're going to use when you have to bug out. You have to get out of Dodge. You have to escape your home. You have to leave. You have to flee for whatever reason it may be. That is what a bug out bag is intended for. So when it comes to shelter, what I have here is an 8x10 tarp that I can pair with some paracord, and I'm able to take this and I can use it to create a shelter for an emergency situation. Now, this can go in a number of different configurations. I can put it into a lean-to. I can make it into an A-frame. If I need to, I can cut it to create two different tarps that I can fashion up in a different way if I so choose. But this gives me a way to have shelter in my backpack, in my get home bag, or in my bug out bag, however you want to term it. Also, I have some 550 paracord, which the 550 paracord is very popular. It is very good to use. I love it because the interior strands, there are 7 individual strands inside of this cord. So not only do I have this outer casing, but I also have 7 times the amount of cord that I have here using these inner strands. Now, those inner strands won't be able to hold the amount of weight that this whole thing will, which is 110 pounds. But I can separate this out. I can use it for fishing. I can use it for sewing. Several different needs that I may have, whether I can make traps with it. Just a great thing to have. 550 paracord. I would recommend you have some of this in your kit. So something else I highly recommend to have in a kit is a great knife. Now, my number one go-to knife when it comes to these type of situations is going to be a fixed blade. Now, this fixed blade here is a high carbon steel, and this is great for striking sparks. So with a carbon steel blade, I'm able to strike a spark off of a piece of flint or chert to get a fire going. Now, you will not be able to do that when it comes to using a stainless steel knife. So if I was to use something like this, I would not be able to get a spark off of that, at least not one that's hot enough for me to make a fire with. So a good fixed blade knife is great to have. Also, keep in mind that with a fixed blade, you do not have that joint like you would with this one here, a potential breaking point when you're using it in a survival situation. Now, this could still break as far as the handle goes, but I'm going to have to use it a lot harder in order to break this thing in 2 pieces. I don't believe I'm going to use it to that extent. So have a good fixed blade knife. This one here, I'm actually not sure. I cannot remember the name of the company that made it. If you're interested to find out, leave a comment and I can look that up for you and get that information out to you. But this is a great little knife. I've used it for a number of things. I can split wood with it. I've used it for gutting deer. Just a number of things I've been able to use it for, and I do trust this knife. So this one here is going to be what I'm going to use when I am trying to chop down a tree, or if I'm trying to process bigger pieces of wood into smaller pieces that I can then split in half with the knife. So this here is just a Sogfari machete, and it is well worn. I've used it for a number of years. I've had this thing. I love it. It's worked great for me. You can tell it's kind of ate up. I've used it a number of times, chopped down a couple trees with it. But you could use this. You could use a hatchet. Just something you want to have something bigger to process some larger pieces of wood with. Now, this smaller knife I have just as a, an extra one, maybe if I got to pass out to somebody. These are also good for, if you have to cut small things. You don't have to pull something like this out in order to do that. You want to have something small, handy. You can get in and do what you need to with it. This also has a screwdriver on it. I can switch out for a flathead or a Phillips. So this will be great if I need to, open or loosen anything. That's a great item to use. So lastly, when it comes to knives, I do want to have a way to sharpen them. That's what this is for. This is a diamond grit. It's got a coarse and a fine side. I can sharpen these up if they get dull, and they will. So I have a way to sharpen them as well. So lighting is going to be the next category we're going to talk about. You want to make sure you have several means of having a light. It's hard to do anything productive, especially at nighttime when you can't see what you're doing. So having a good headlamp, that way you can work with both your hands free. Also have a handheld way of seeing. And you also want to have a way to recharge these or replace the batteries. Now this one does take batteries, which I have here. This one here does take a charger. So this right here is a Brunton solar panel. It comes with 4 panels, and it has a USB plug-in on this end. So with this, I can attach it to my backpack using these holes here, and I can recharge my flashlight during the day if I have a proper amount of sunlight. Now, of course, I have to have the correct cords in order to do that as well. So using this, I can recharge my flashlight. I can also recharge my phone using these cables. And this flashlight here, which is also a hand crank radio, is, of course, hand cranked. So if all else fails, my batteries are dead, I lose this, whatever the case may be, I still have a way of seeing using the hand crank radio and flashlight. A good radio is also good to have. That way you can know what's going on. If you are forced to flee and evacuate, you can tune into the local stations. This also connects to the weather band, so you have several channels you can access to know what any major weather events are coming your way and plan accordingly. This also has a way to charge using the solar panel. I can hook up to the bottom here using a charging cable and can charge this up as well. So having a spare change of clothes is also a great idea. At least I think it is. So the reason why I have a spare change of clothes, I don't know how long I'm going to be away from my home. I know for me to get home from work, I'm looking at 12 miles. Now, socks are a big thing. You'll really appreciate these if you're forced to walk many miles home. Your feet get sweaty. Your socks begin to really wear out your feet. So it's good to have a nice fresh pair of socks to change into. So having a spare change of clothes is great, especially if the clothes you do have on get severely dirty or they get wet. You can change into these. You can clean the ones you had on, dry them out by the fire, and you're not forced to sit next to your fire naked while you wait for your clothes to dry out. So I have a pair of underwear, a pair of jeans, a shirt, an Under Armour jacket, and a pair of socks. Now, with it being wintertime here as well, I also have a sock hat that I keep in my pack, for that extra layer of warmth. So inside these jeans, I do have $100 that I have stuffed into a secret compartment that I have sewn into the back of the pocket. So no one else knows it's there except for you guys and, of course, my family. But that is nice to have. Extra money, especially not on a card, is great in case the power grid goes down. If the power grid does go down, most likely there will be some still small mom and pop shops that'll still be open, that'll take cash. Some of the bigger stores may be open, but they're going to be a lot more crowded and not something you want to mess with. So having some extra cash inside of your backpack is a great idea too. Make sure they are in small bills. You don't want to have to break big bills. A lot of times there's places that won't do that. Just having smaller bills does help to cut out that possibility. So fire starting is going to be the next category I want to talk about. You do want to make sure you have several ways of starting a fire. So whether that's having a lighter, ferrocerium rod, flint and steel, you want to have several methods because if one method fails, you want to have others to rely on as well. So inside of this kit, I can get it open here. What I have are some homemade fire starters that I've made. These are actually using the magic erasers that I cut into small squares. Then I took some wax out of my wife's wax warmer, dipped them into it, and these are great. They work great. They burn for several minutes at a time, plenty of time to get a good fire going. So I have several of these in here. Some of them I made using cotton balls. Now, something you do want to keep in mind if you do go this route, making a little homemade fire starter, is these do not like to start just using a spark. So that is a downside about it. I haven't figured out a way to start them using only a spark, even though I have this cotton that's just free on top of here. This will burn, but it will not burn long enough to catch that wax, melt it, and keep the fire going. So these I do have to use a lighter on, but they do work great. So I have several of those. I'll just move those out of the way and show you what else I have in here. These here are some fire starting matchsticks that I had seen at Dollar Tree. I got these years ago, and I used several of them back when I first got them, but I can't find them anymore. But they do work. They work great. These I can actually start with a magnifying glass. So I can put the magnifying glass on the head here, and that'll spark up just like a match would, and this will burn for several minutes as well. I also have several lighters in here. So this one works. This one works. I also have 2 candles. These are great for a couple different things. These are good for if you're ever stuck inside of your vehicle. Maybe your vehicle's broken down. These, you can light a couple of them. You can set them up in the dash very carefully. You could also set them on the armrest in the middle console. You can get a fire going safely. Get a fire going on the candles, not anything else other than these. But you simply light these, crack a window to allow the fumes to escape, and they will help to stave off that cold while help comes. So that is what I have in this fire kit. Now I do have a different kit that I have inside the pack. I won't get that one out, but that is one that I can wear on my belt. So when I'm just walking around camp, I can have a way of starting fire that way. That would have my flint and steel inside of it. Has my char cloth. It does carry the magnifying glass that I could start these with. So there is that other fire kit that I have as well. Now, something else I do want to point out is this box is watertight. I picked this up from Walmart, and this is going to be good too if I am walking around trying to pick up tinder, small twigs for starting the fire, kindling. I can throw them into here. I can close it up, especially if it's raining or if it has rained or it's going to rain. I can put them into here and keep them safe and dry until I'm ready to use them. So a good fire kit is something I strongly encourage anyone to have in their pack. So the next category I want to talk about is food. So what I have here is 2 MREs. They're outside of the normal brown packaging. This one, the packaging actually was damaged, but I opened it up perfectly fine, so I stuck it into this bag. So I have 2 MREs here. One is chili and beans. This one is, I believe, pasta and tomato sauce with vegetables, something like that. But these are great. Not only do they have the main course inside of them, if you don't know what an MRE is, they are meals ready to eat. They are something that is issued to our military. So they use these in combat, and they're just great. Plenty of calories. Now, is this something that's going to get me by for several days? It could. Depends on how much, of course, I would eat. Now, I do not eat a whole lot as of right now. I've been trying to slim down, trying to take better care of myself, so I've been eating less and less. So I could make these last for a while. Of course, that could depend on what activities I'm doing, especially if I'm in a survival situation. I'm going to be gathering wood. I'm going to be walking, carrying a bunch of weight with my pack. So I'm going to be exerting more energy than normal. So of course I will eat more than normal, but this will get me by until either I get into a better situation, or if my situation is long term, I can work on setting traps. I can do a number of things to help myself. I also have some Slim Jims here for some protein. Now, inside of these pots, this here is a cook set. This will double as a plate as well as a pot cover. This is a smaller pot inside. I use this for boiling water, and then another pan for whatever I would need it for. Now, the reason why I have multiple pans in here and not just one is because I do have this for my family as well. So if I just have one pot, if we're doing multiple different things, I want to have a couple different ways of cooking. I know my wife would appreciate that. Rather than just having one pot, she would have a couple to work with. So that's what's inside of this one. Inside of this one here, I do have some food stored in there as well. I have some packages of oatmeal. I have my fork, my spoon combo here. And then I also have a can of canned chicken. So this is something great. I can just pop it open. I can eat it on the go if I need to. I can also add it to something else. So just have a couple different things that I can munch on, feed my family if necessary. So make sure you do have a couple days worth of food in your pack. Now I understand different dietary needs are going to affect this, but build out a pack that accommodates your dietary requirements. Now they do suggest 2,000 calories per day. That's for an adult male. Now that could change depending, like I said, depending on your specific needs, but just plan accordingly and pack what is best for you. So the next category I want to talk about is water. So make sure you have a way of purifying water, whether that's using a pot to boil water, whether that's using a stainless steel or an aluminum water bottle that you can also boil water in, or whether that's using a purifier such as this. So what this is the Sawyer Mini water purification system. So it comes with, of course, a Sawyer Mini, comes with a squeezable, collapsible water bottle, comes with a syringe for back flushing your filter, and also comes with a straw. This straw would be what you would use to attach to the bottom of this to suck out of a stream or out of a water bottle, or not, I'm sorry, not a water bottle, but some kind of container. Now, this thread actually matches a standard water bottle. So one that you would get from Sam's Club or Aquafina, something like that. This will attach to the end of it, so you can fill up your water bottle and drink straight from this filter, attaching it to the water bottle. Now, they also have inline systems for this. You can attach this to a camelback or a platypus like interior water bag for your backpack. So you can hook this in line and you could just suck through your straw like normal with this filtering the water, of course, before it goes into your mouth. So having a way to purify water is tremendous. And like I said, if you don't have this, you could always boil the water, making sure you have a good pot, which was shown earlier. I have a couple different pots that I could use to boil water with. So something else which is good to have when it comes to water is a trash bag. So this trash bag is not going to be used for gathering trash around the camp or wherever we find ourselves. This is going to be used to gather water. So I can hook this up in a way that I can catch rainwater. I can filter it down into one of my pots for boiling, or I could use the straw to purify that water for use. So there's different ways of gathering water. I will not get into that in this video. If you'd like to know a video about that, let me know in the comment section, and I can do my best to get a video like that for you guys. So this is what I have in my backpack when it comes to medical supplies. This is not everything that I do have. I do have a smaller pack that I carry everywhere I go. that I do not have inside of my backpack, but I do always have it on me, so it will be with me in case I do need to, uh, to use it, whether that's in a situation like this, whether that's at church, or just wherever I am. So inside of the other pack that I do not have here right now, that would have my tourniquet, would have my Israeli bandage, hyphen chest seals, wound packing gauze, things like that. So that is my trauma kit that I carry, like I said, everywhere that I go. I do take it to church with me a lot just because nowadays you have no idea what's going to happen. So I don't like to keep that stuff inside of this pack simply because I may need it. And if it's in here, I won't have it. Now, I do need to get a secondary tourniquet. I really need to get a secondary of all those supplies so I can have one, on me as well as one in here. But what I do have inside the pack is just some basic things other than this. But I have a blister relief kit. This is going to be good in case I do have to walk home. If I do have any blisters, I can take care of them and continue on my way home. Have some antibiotic cream as well as some chapstick, some Aleve, Afterbite. Some people may think this is just a little crazy, but I do have children with me, and if they get stung by a bee or something like that, this is going to be great for calming them down and helping them to get through that. I do have some non-stick woven pads, quite a number of them. Here I have band-aids as well as some smaller pieces of gauze and some non-stick pads. Here is a cold compress, an emergency blanket, and a bite and sting kit. So what is inside of this is a surgical kit. It's a minor surgery kit. But what's in here are your normal surgical utensils. And you can think of a number of reasons you'd have to use these. I do have stitches down inside of here in case any of us has a major wound. These are good to have on hand if it is a last resort. Now, if you can get to a hospital, I encourage you to go. Do not try and just take care of yourself if you have a means of getting someone else that's actually trained and professional in doing that. So I do have this as a last resort. I would not be using this, like I said, other than there's no other option. If you start trying to do stitches, out in the field, you can risk, infection getting into that. Just a number of things you cannot take the risk with if you can help it. Now, if it's a life or death situation, by all means, attempt it if it's all you have. But I do have that in there for that reason. So informational material is something that I've included into my pack. If you want to include it into yours, again, completely up to you. But what I've included in mine is a reference guide to bushcrafting. Now, this is Bushcraft 101 by Dave Canterbury. It has great information in it, whether that's information for traps. That would be one of the main things I would have it for, was the trapping section and a few other ones. But for myself, I'm not the greatest at making traps just yet. That is something that I want to look into more. But this is something that's going to help me if I do end up needing it. Now, this here is a list of edible and medicinal plants of the Midwest. I was able to find these at Turkey Run State Park. Now, Turkey Run State Park had a couple of these. Actually, I think this is the one I got from Turkey Run. This I was able to find inside of Tractor Supply. Now, it does have a very extensive list of the plants that are good as well as the plants that are bad. They also tell you, well, I'm sorry, this one does not. This one tells you how to prepare them, how to make decoctions and just different things like that. But these are just great reference material to have. I also have a map inside of my backpack along with a compass in order for me to navigate wherever I'm located. This is a map of Indiana because that's where I live. And this would help me to just get a rough idea of where I'm at in case the GPSs would go down. I need to have a road map to get home. Something good to have. Now, this is not going to be something that's going to be for everybody. Now, it is for everybody, but not everybody's going to agree with it. This is a King James Bible that I do keep inside of my pack. The Lord is very important to me, and I want to make sure that I always keep His Word close to me. So I do have this inside of my backpack as well. So lastly, there are a few things I forgot to mention that I do have inside of my pack. This is a small sewing kit for sewing up my clothes or my gear if necessary. Now, I have already used this for both, actually. In the pair of pants I showed previously, I used a sewing kit to attach that button and to make that little compartment for that cache. Now, I have also repaired my backpack with it. It's just good to have in case you do need to make a repair. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. I do also have a toothbrush inside of my pack, as well as a marker. And this cloth is something I would use for filtering out the rough sediment, the heavy sediment inside of dirty water before I ran it through my filter or boiled it. So my backpack is continuing to evolve. I do not have it completely finished like I would like to. So if there's anything that you think that I missed, which I know there's a couple things, but if there's anything that you can think of that would be a good idea for me to add to my kit, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. I do appreciate each and every view that you guys give me. If this information is helpful to you, leave a thumbs up, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. See ya.